the time around. That's the weird thing about regames, that you get to watch a half-done replay, and you learn quite a bit. You learn what was about to happen when that disconnection went in, so you can prepare a little better for it. But let's find out. Millennium Stephano in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the northeast of the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, currently 1 game down in this best-of-3 series. In the group stage, it is Empire's Happy in the red trunks playing Terran to the northwest.
And they have spawned again close by air, so it's as close as can be in terms of the remake, aside from on the north, not the south.
Pretty much, yeah.
I wonder what Happy's going to do. If he'll play the same, we'll check out. If he's not, I think playing the same is going to be fine from him, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the refinery come down really early and he just went for exactly the same build, because it did work out well.
Yep.
But the problem is, Happy won't be able to get in the base again and catch Stephano's mistake, which was lifting the supply depot. He went in, he killed 7 drones. At that stage of the game, that is something that cannot be repeated in a show match, and of course will give Stephano a bit of an edge in this game. Yeah,
certainly. Bringing out the spine crawler at that time was a mistake, and I have to wonder if it was to maybe goad those Hellions, but honestly, it didn't work. I mean, it did goad them. It worked incredibly well in that respect, but it didn't get anything from it, that I can guarantee. Happy now currently working once again on this barracks, and the refinery did go down significantly quicker. In fact, I'm trying to remember, is this the kind of build that Happy used back in the previous tournament as well? He, as far as I'm aware, he does like to go refinery first.
Yeah, I mean, he has a variety of builds. He can go barracks first, then refinery, and maybe put on a bit of pressure with a couple of Marines, then back it up with Hellions. I've seen him even go Reaper first too. So, I mean, this is just his choice, his build for this tournament for sure. So I'm sure that if he does advance through and plays against another Zerg player, that we will be experiencing this build again. But Stephano goes in with that Overlord, spots the gas, most importantly there, or sees the SCVs coming in and out more so than the actual refinery. But he knows that that's early. He knows that the same build is being applied here by Happy.
Yep, and how does he shut it down? Well, quite simply by not making mistakes in the way that he did in the first one. This should, in theory, be an easier natural to stop that from happening. It was a slip-up by Stephano that allowed it to happen. I'd be very surprised if he managed to allow that again. I mean, that would be a very uncharacteristic set of mistakes from a player of his caliber.
Yeah, the problem is with Stephano, though, is I'm not really with Stephano, but the build Happy uses, he forces a very early spine crawler, and then after that, you have to reposition the spine crawler because it's built so fast, it's on the creep touching the hatchery.
Yeah,
and it's not in a good position, so you need to find that time to redeploy it, which is why this build's actually pretty strong. So we'll see, though. I'm sure Stephano will immediately throw down that spine crawler as he moves down, and Happy does have his first 2 Hellions in production. The question is, though, like you said, will Happy be able to get that damage done again? And I really don't think Stephano's going to make the same mistake twice.
I'd be very, very surprised, really, and I certainly hope for Stephano's sake that that will not happen. Down goes the spine crawler. This playing out exactly the same way as it did previously, because it really can't play out any other way. Yeah. It's got to happen. The divergence will be when these Hellions decide to get in there and do damage. Does he go in with 4? Most likely he tries to. Is he able to slip past? And then we can have a look at how Stephano's got his defenses set up. Currently he only has 4 lings, nowhere near enough. He'll need to produce more than that. Does Happy even try to go in earlier than that? You might think that's not a lot of damage with 2, but maybe. I mean, the fact that he's starting to poke away at this queen, looking for positions, he pops out at the exact right time. Stephano then moves forward immediately. Is Happy going to go with 2? He's going to try and at least do something with it, do a little bit more damage and slide in from the side. More lings are in production, but maybe, just maybe, he goes in a little early here. I guess we're about to find out. The reinforcements come in from the back, and it turns out that Happy goes in even earlier. Excellent micro from Happy to keep that last Hellion alive. It's so little, it's gonna go for the main right now. He prevents a lot of mining time, gets a good number of kills, and here he goes right into that main mineral light. A massive stack of drones annihilate. That was huge right there.
Wow, there's so much I want to talk about in so little time, but Hellions have actually killed 12 so far. That's more than the last time. Does he get one more? 15! 15, and I can already hear Team Empire going crazy, as that is such a better result than game number 1.
Good God.
And screw the internet issues, because Happy comes out ahead in the remake.
Oh yeah, he's happy about that. There's no question. You know what? I don't like Empire frowny. I'll stick with Empire happy. That's good, and it's nice to see that from him.
He can't really go in again, but the beautiful thing here that maybe some Zerg players did pick up on is that Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, so Stephano built 4 Lings early on. So many robotic Zerg players just send them out. The Zelnaga towers, the Mineral line, and they all just get roasted by Hellions. Stephano sent 1 out and hit it, and then kept 3. His initial 4. And so those 3 were actually meant to help him against that. So he was like, I can lift my Spine Crawl up. I got 3 Hellions to help me, 3 Lings to help me against those 2 Hellions. But unfortunately, it didn't work and it wasn't enough. And there is that initial Ling. Oh my god, that's the 1 Ling from the initial 4 in the main base now of Happy that spots the expansion. It spots the 3rd as well. And really nice play there from Stephano, savoring that Ling for the entire game long.
Oh, nice micro there by Happy to actually prevent that.
It's like the Ling looks stuck.
The Ling's trying to get into the factory. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, but there you go.
Stephano does kill 2 Hellions outside the natural as well here, and is chasing down the other 2, which will go down eventually, but they're going to try and do as much damage as possible.
And in fact, he might actually keep those alive. That was well controlled there. Never mind, he does kill an awful lot of Lings in the process. A lot more on the way here from Stephano. He's turning the pressure on.
Baneling Nest is now completed. He's going to have more Banelings outside the natural of Happy. Happy does have a tank. Siege mode is 30 seconds away, 25 seconds away.
It might happen. I don't know.
But even if he does, I mean, he's going to have to lift up that natural. He's trying to wall in with supply depots. This is what I said. He's very good at defending it. He narrows the choke point. But does he siege up immediately? He has to. It's not quite ready. 5 seconds.
Oh, he's got to get this done immediately because those Banelings are on their way. And Happy is not being able to target fire him down. The bust has been completed, and into the main he goes. He keeps a couple more Banelings alive to go for that. I'm not really convinced with that. He needs to go for the mineral line. Now is the time. He tries to go for the interception. A detonation. It's big. It's very big indeed. And suddenly the game's starting to swing again.
Yeah, it does indeed, but he did a lot of damage, but I don't think he did enough.
No,
and the reason why I say that because of the 3rd command center, the siege tanks out now, and Stephano took a humongous hit towards his economy. Though killing these supply depots, of course, helps him out a lot here, and he is droning behind this. So 26, 2 more in production. And if Happy just gets the siege tank in that position there, he will be able to keep the Lings away from running in, but he has to establish his natural from running. The longer this goes on, the longer Happy is away from his natural, the more of that advantage or the neutral that he loses.
Yep, and Stephano will be able to prevent mining from this base for quite some time. Unless, of course, he leaves and runs through the tank fire, in which case he won't. But whatever the case, he's going to bring out a couple more Banelings. These are in a defensive formation, if I recall correctly. He must be hidden in his main somewhere. Stephano is now droning as hard as he can. He's done some damage.
Oh, 2 more Banelings!
Oh!
To the natural, get a bunch of SCVs, and that was a lot there. They got about 8 SCVs, 2 Lings. Were saved by the bottom of the Vespian guys as morph the Banelings and goes in. And a really nice move there by Stephano, picking up about 8 more SCVs. Really, really nice play. And all of a sudden, that 5, as you mentioned, is now 15. Or 12, sorry, from Stephano, actually. So not as many, but still pretty good.
Yeah, it is looking solid for him. Admittedly, Happy still has 3 orbital command centers, so he's still pumping out an awful lot of mules. Is he pumping out enough? Probably not. So there is a significant deficit now. Stephano's managed to come back with that risky attack, and he didn't really have a choice in the matter. If he just continued to drone, he would have simply been behind. Happy would have been able to take a 3rd, saturate that natural without a problem whatsoever. And Happy's now in a much worse spot than he was, and now looking to go for the same thing again. But this is the nice thing. Because he did so much damage early on, these rocks, not even close. This, once again, kind of abusive thing is going to end up happening here.
Oh, he gets quite a few Ling kills there as well, but as you said, Stephano was building drones at the point that he was building Lings last game, and the rocks are there, but it looks like Stephano's going to go for a counterattack. There is a tank on the higher ground. Counterattacks will not work, and now Happy is going to set up position. 1 tank on the lower ground. Eventually, we'll pick one up on the higher ground, but first of all, he's going to just harass with Marines and run back to the tank fire, and Happy looking really, really good.
Yeah, that's a nice counter-attack. It's exactly what he wanted to execute last game. This game playing out better for Happy than previously. Some damage certainly done, but the risk, of course, is that he could actually lose this hatchery. Yeah,
Stephano's not even going to try and save it, because he'd probably lose more money trying to save it than he would losing the hatchery, as he has built a 3rd and 4th hatchery on the right-hand side south of the map. So Stephano gives it up. He doesn't want to lose the spawning pool, of course, but he's going to give up that position. So even though he kills the main, it's not that big of a deal because he does have those extra expansions.
Yep, very, very true. And honestly, Happy concentrating a small amount of forces near that. And in fact, is that a spare spawning pool coming up? I think that it might very very well be.
Just in case.
I love it.
Just in case.
So few Zerg players do that, and it's incredibly crazy because the spawning pool is not expensive at all.
Yeah, and it's the bone of Stephano's style and strategy. Without the spawning pool, of course, no lings can be made, and therefore, what does he do? You know, nothing, because he doesn't have a Roach Warren, nothing. So he has to keep that alive, even if it's not under straight debt, and it will eventually go down because there's no creep in the main base, so he just builds it nice and early on anyway. And it looks like now the creep spread's gone pretty damn crazy. And all Stephano is doing while being greedy with drone production is just banking on Ling defense only. The Marine and tank count is incredibly high. So if Happy deploys and doesn't get caught unsieged, this push that he's going for right now is going to do so much damage. I don't care about the Ling count as long as Happy is not caught out of position.
Yep. The Ling count is very, very high, admittedly, but the thing is that he's going to have to start this push about halfway across the map because, of course, your first tank, unless you want to be really risky and crazy, or, of course, you can deploy on the high ground right there, which is going to be nice, too. It has to start outside of the creep. So that's where it starts, and that's where the staggering begins to happen.
Oh, look at this. Tank's in absolutely fantastic positions, and if he sieges up here, he's going to start to cover that ramp towards the third base where he's going to unlock so much damage here. And awesome using the higher and lower ground tanks because there's only Lings. Really fantastic play here by Happy in awesome position.
Yeah, I love the fact that Happy is playing to the map. There are some players that won't, and others play, oh, I'll just play the strat regardless. Like, some people call it abusive, but, you know, it abuse the advantages you can gain on the map. That's the point. Nice pickup there by Happy once again, and Stephano trying to maybe bait a little bit of friendly fire. And now we've got Ventral Sacks coming up from him. That his answer is actually to drop.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a drop towards that third base, but it's okay because the ground units come now, and there's a drop towards the natural. Happy all over the place. Look at the Ling count, though. It's getting very scary. Ventral Sacks is being upgraded for the Overlords. He will try and drop. And there's another drop at the south side, too, dropping on every single base
one over here
that he has.
They're all over the place. It's absolutely insane keeping track of Happy's triple drops at the moment. We've got one over here. We've got one over there.
And he's picking up, he's lifting in almost every drop, apart from the one on screen.
Except for that one, yeah. That was on
that's a really good,
mostly.
really efficient movement now from Happy, who's establishing a fantastic lead in this game, and is going to go and easily pick up that third base. Stephano, though, Ventral Sacks is such a long upgrade that it's not even done, but look how many Lings he has. Look at the unit tab, 129 Lings, 41 drones. His economy is terrible.
Yeah, well, he still has at least +2 with that. He's got to do a lot of damage with this, and he has the potential to do that. Surrounds that drop, eliminates it, no problem at all. Quick pickup, 3 more Marines. He'll probably try and drop behind there just to pick off 1 more drone, and he's going to be able to do that.
And a drop in the main, a drop at the south base as well. So once again, 3 drops all over the place. He picks up in the main, picks up at the south, and deploys once again towards that right base.
Man, we're going all over the place trying to keep track of this. It's all over. But Happy's still got this nasty contain. It's probably not enough, especially once these drops start happening. And I have to wonder if he expects massive Ling drops, because that's all Stephano's got. It's going to be Ling, Bane, Ling drop. His Ling count is at 164, and here we go.
Onto the natural again. He's dropped there again. He drops at the south base as well. Even though they're getting cleaned up, there's a lot of mining time lost. And oh my god, Stephano tries to drop with Overlords towards that tanks, but it's not working. And once again, Happy controls that position, does lose the tank, but he has the center position here. He has established a third base, and these drops are continuing to go on.
Yeah, you know what? Talking is hard when you're trying to focus on 4 different locations at once. Stephano, that's the least efficient way to kill a drop I've ever seen, but what a choice did he have? He then mauls that drop over there as well. This drop has been cleaned up, and most of the drop potential is gone. There's still 37 Marines. 5 medevacs are available there, but Stephano's nailing them down much, much better. And, oh, those tanks actually deployed. This is giving Stephano a perfect opportunity to get a big run by.
Yeah, he's going to have to pick up every single unit in the middle if he wants to keep them alive here and deploy them again. But that third base is completely naked. Well, actually, no, there's 4 tanks on the right-hand side. Does he lift up the supply depots?
Oh,
yes!
Right in time. There we go. And no, you're not getting through there. And no Banelings available to smash his way through. Stephano's Lings are just locked out of everywhere. And if he runs back in that direction, all sorts of horrible things could end up occurring. Overlord's moved into position now for, once again, potential drops.
And Happy is feeling the pressure. I can tell it in his play. His macro slipping up. He doesn't have that high of an SCV count. He has a lot of energy saved up all over the place. The upgrades were slow as well. So despite controlling fantastically stuff in the background is slowing his overall progress down, but we do have another drop into the original main base here from Happy, and he's pushing through the center of the map, TotalBiscuit, and we said he cannot get caught off guard, but all the lings are in the Overlords.
Yes, they are, and that could be unpleasant one way or the other. If those Overlords get taken down, it's going to be a huge loss there. But Happy is once again picking up with not one but 2 medevacs worth of units. A drop there by Happy was just completely destroyed in the main. Stephano was all over that very quickly.
And another drop to the south as well that does get picked up by these lings, and he's going to deploy another one in the main very shortly too. But he's slowly pushing through the center of the map now. Stephano is trying to go to Hive as well, but Stephano equal to the multitasking from Happy, and they actually cross paths. Overlord drop into the main base, and Happy knows about it. He's setting up position as well, so he should be okay to defend it. And this is such an incredible game.
Yeah, I love that. It's a single medevac and then 10 Overlords.
Oh no, Happy locks the 3rd and 4th base out. Stephano has to do something about this, otherwise he'll lose his entire economy.
He runs over the back siege tanks. That's a good way to get it done. And tons of lings now streaming into this base, but there's a siege tank in position. Stephano's managed to come around the back, and that siege tank is undeployed. And there he goes, going straight for it with banelings as well. No speed available, but he's got so many +2/+2 lings that it might not even matter. Happy being driven back. There's the quick pickup by him.
And there's lings on the 3rd base of Happy. Gutted the economy line now, so Happy's income is stopped. All the lings do get cleaned up in the main base, but more importantly, Stephano holds on to his economy backbone. There was a drop in the main as well, but not as much damage as the other ones. But Happy has lost his 3rd base. His income now has dropped to 400 minerals. 1,200 right now for Stephano, so Stephano is keeping up to the task and actually starting to overtake and outplay Happy.
That's incredible, really. Considering the amount of damage that was done earlier to Stephano, do you really think that could have happened?
And another drop to the natural. He's trying to get there, but it does get picked up. Yeah, man, there's so many drops everywhere.
Are you glad you're not doing camera right now?
Yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm zooming everywhere incredibly fast.
Yeah, Happy is all over the place at the minute, and as is Stephano. Looking for yet another drop, but a cleanup is coming in. Oh, the medevac goes down as well.
Another drop to the south side here, TotalBiscuit.
Good God.
More Queens and drones going down. The problem is Stephano's army is very strong, but so is Happy's, and Happy's pushing through now. I think the upgrades, though, are going to carry Stephano. We'll see, because Happy is in a ball right now, and if that gets sandwiched, everything will die. He has to get in good position, spreading tanks, spreading Marines once again.
Yeah, it's got to be another drop down to the south side. Will be easily cleaned up and surrounded there by Stephano. Looks to try and get the hard contain in place. Pushes back that creep. Baneling speed not available just yet. So Happy's got a little bit of a room to maneuver, but how much? The swarm lands on top of Happy's army. But look at the Marine split. Absolutely fantastic Marine split there by Happy. Will he be able to get rid of him? I don't think it is. He holds just. Wow. GG.